that I feel like maybe I could clarify a bit more, I'll ask you to drop a 1 in the chat to make sure that you are understanding things too if you don't. Now, the intentions for this program, it's very important that I tell you these intentions every single week. So number one, I can keep myself accountable. And number two is, when you say something over and over again, it's a commitment and consistency bias within humans that if I have said something in front of everyone, I have to make sure to actually get it done. So number one intention is help and support 1 million orphans in third world countries. And number two is make this program the best place for a Muslim to start a halal business. Now, today's topic is business is 80% mindset. I'll say it again. Business is 80% mindset. 20% is just doing the action steps, the systems that I give to you. 80% is the way you think. Number two is we'll cover later on in the call is how to speak to less people and book more calls. This is project 2 that I'm talking about in phase 2 that you guys are going through right now. Now, you guys have asked me to teach you this business, and I'm telling you, this business is all about mindset. There's no products that we're selling. There's nothing, physical. There's nothing tangible that we're selling. So this business is literally just mindset, the way you think, the way you operate. So the way you have been operating so far will not get you what you want. And we have covered this a few presentations ago, where it's a quote from Einstein: the same level of thinking will not get you to where you want to get to. So I'm telling you, you have told me that you want to do everything it takes to actually get to your goals and make this business work. And I'm telling you, this business is 80% mindset. The unnecessary things that you have in your head that, okay, what if I do this, then this will happen, all that stuff. Okay, fair enough. I'm not trying to put that down and saying that, okay, if you have that, there's something wrong with you. But all I'm saying, you have to learn a way to manage those things, because this business is all about mindset. So you will have to change the way you think. I want to tell you an example. At this point, I'm continuously investing into courses and mentors, because to be someone that is authentic and actually teaching you this business, I have to make sure that my knowledge is up to date and I know exactly what I'm saying when I'm teaching you guys. So I personally paid 2,000 USD an hour to someone in this industry who's not really public anymore. He's more like, he kind of keeps himself, he's done what he wanted to do. Anyways, so 2,000 an hour, and the way I get mentored by people is, this is something that I found, and it's literally a cheat code. Find someone who has what you want. Number two is do one-on-ones with him. And the reason I only need 1 hour is because what I do is I give him a Google Doc before our call. I say, okay, this is the context. This is exactly what's happening. And these are specific A or B questions. This is happening. Should I do this or this? Why did you pick option A? Why did you pick option B? What that does is it allows me to understand the experience that he's had. He'll say, okay, option B, because 4 years ago, this happened in my business and I did this, and I think you should do this. So that basically allows me to skip the 4 years that he's had on me and just kind of quickly get the answer. But anyway, getting to the point, I had this one-on-one with him 2 weeks ago. And I was just expressing a couple of concerns that I had moving forward, because, at each level in business, you have to change. So I was just expressing a certain concern that I had. Okay, if I do this, this will happen. And he kept saying, if it does, who cares? If it does, who cares? He kept saying this thing. And at the moment, I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Did I actually just pay 2,000 just for him to say, who cares? But he later on explained what he meant by, who cares? He kept on saying, who cares? Who cares? Let's stop worrying about it. And what he meant was kill the ego. And he explained, he meant to kill the ego. And what I mean by that is, when we're trying to do this business or anything in life, we have this story attached to it. Like, I'm doing these calls, I'm doing this business, I have to make it work. If I don't make it work, then, basically stories attached to each outcome, which makes us feel so attached to anything that's happening. And then you blow that out of proportion. Like, anything that goes wrong, someone on the call says something slightly rude to you, and you're like, oh God, my life, what the hell is happening? Like, when you attach these stories to outcomes, everything just becomes a lot worse than it actually is. So he said, kill the ego. It doesn't matter. Okay, cool, you try this new thing, it doesn't happen, who cares? And what I basically have been trying to do over the past 2 weeks is just kind of embody his energy, like the way he was approaching these problems in his business, because he's gone through a lot. He's gone through a lot, and every single business owner does go through a lot. So that's why I keep on saying this business is all about mindset. There's nothing tangible. It's literally all you know. And one thing you also mentioned was just take it one step at a time. And moving on to my next slide is starting from the demand and then worrying about the supply. So a lot of people in this program, especially in phase 2, want to make sure they understand everything before they get onto their second client, third client, fourth client, or getting their first high ticket client. Because what if the client asks me a question and I can't answer? What if something goes wrong? Look, he mentioned to me that he's literally just started a new business, and the way he started it was he just put a new ad. He just recorded one ad, he put it up at $30 a day just to see what happens. So the market tells you whether it's important to them or not, whether they will buy or not. And then according to that, then you build that 10 out of 10 product. So you sell someone, you ask them, hey, where are you right now? Where would you like to go? What's stopping you? And then you basically offer them the service. As long as you have reasonable certainty, you can help them. And for you guys, you don't have the skill yourself, so you'll just basically outsource it to a waste, the person that I've given to you. But anyway, he basically said, start with the demand and then worry about supply. So what a lot of people do is worry about supply first. Here's what I can do. And then they think about demand. But it doesn't matter what you can do. The market wants what it wants. The human desires what they desire. You can't control that. So all you need to focus on is cater towards the human's wants. Cater towards the human's wants. If the human wants, or let's say, for example, in this case, let's say the realtor wants 10 new deals. He wants that. You can't change that. It doesn't matter what you can and can't do. What you can do is solve the problem of how to get them there. That's all business is. That's all making a lot of money is. Figure out a way, figure out a predictable system to get what that human wants, and then that human will pay you a lot of money to get there. That's literally it. And that's exactly how my mentor, like within a span of 3 weeks, started a completely new 6-figure business just off of running that ad, seeing, okay, there's demand, and then he made a product from it. Then he got his team on it. Then he built the whole program from it. So the customer helps you create the 10 out of 10 product. It doesn't happen first. And that is the biggest reason why, you must have thought like these people on Fiverr, Upwork, they have so much skill, they know so much. Why aren't they doing this themselves? Because they're thinking about supply first. They learned the skill. They spent the last 5 or 6 years learning everything there is to know about this industry. And then they forgot to think about the demand, like how are they going to actually get paid for the skill that they have? It's a challenging concept to understand, but once you do, everything changes. Coming back to the ego point, again, coming back to you doing calls, you taking on clients, there's that thing in your mind, like, what if I can't deliver? What if this happens at the end? What if I get them as a client and they ask me a question that I don't know the answer and I'm embarrassed by the client? Observe Allah's creations. That's another way a lot of my mentors have taught me, is observe Allah's creations. The systems that are already happening in our natural world. How did they happen? Like, there's no friction. The animals going out every single day, trying to get their food. They don't think, oh, I wish I can get my food today. I wish I can, feed myself today. They just do the action steps. Let it just flow. There's no friction. So if you feel friction right now, it's not the approach, because the approach is being done by me and a lot of others. So it's definitely not the approach. It's the way you're approaching. So if there is friction that you're encountering, it's the way you're approaching the action steps that I've given to you. So that's the question you need to ask me. Like, what am I doing right now that is making this approach more difficult than it needs to be? Because in life, things are not met, or you don't get things by just having that nervous tension behind it. I need to get this, I need to make this work. It's through just this natural flow of you doing the right action steps, and then inshallah you get the results that you want. With the gym, again, looking at something natural that's already happening in our life. You break down the muscle, and then you break down the muscle tissue, and then you allow it to grow stronger. So it's the normal pattern in life. So if you can become, someone that can notice patterns in other natural systems that are going on in the world, perfect creations from Allah, then life becomes a lot easier. So right now, and I'll tell you guys, I don't really usually do this, tell something before I actually do it, but I'm just doing this for a teaching lesson. I'm potentially going to be starting a new business. That's the thing that I was overthinking about with my mentor. And I know that once I start that offer, probably be very difficult at the start. There's going to be disruption when I make the intention, but I know that it's something that I'm predicting. So I'm not going to be surprised when that happens. So once you understand that, like when you start a diet, it's going to be difficult first, and then it becomes easier. So disruption follows intention when you make the intention to do something. Very, very crucial that you guys understand this. Okay, cool. You guys are thinking, I really want to make this work. I don't want my effort to go to waste. I don't want to be embarrassed by a client. I could give an answer where I break down each point. Okay, don't worry. If this happens, then we'll do this. If this happens, then we'll do that. I'm not going to go into that. Just embrace uncertainty and the fact that it probably happened. Things will break. Things will happen, and just embrace that. There's nothing else that I'd like to say, because sometimes I feel like I need to treat you guys like, your children. And I'm not trying to insult anyone, but like I need to baby people. But what I benefit from my mentors is just getting straight to the point. Like my mentor did to me the other day. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Like, stop letting this control you. So humans want control. When things seem out of control, which you guys are currently probably experiencing, is like, well, okay, if I get the client, what will happen? What will happen after I get my third client? What will a waste do then? Will he charge this? Or take it one step at a time. So the way any system works in life is input. Something happens. It follows a certain process. There's an output. You analyze what output you got. You take feedback, and then you do the input again. So this robotic system, if you can just follow it for anything that you do, literally anything, a diet, you do certain input, you follow the process of sticking to certain calories in a workout program. You see what happens in 1 or 2 weeks, if you lose weight or not. You take feedback and you do the input again, change the process. So you keep doing it again with anything that you do. So that's exactly the same approach that you're going to have to take with the soul business as well. Now, before I move on to the practical action steps that you guys can take in the following week, just want to make sure you guys actually understood what I just explained. So would love to see ones or twos in the chat. One, if you understood what I said. Two, if you think I just completely waffled and nothing made sense. Okay, I see a one. Only one so far. Okay, cool. Now they're coming in. Perfect. Cool, that's good enough. That's enough ones for me. So second topic is how to speak to less people and book more qualified calls. So if you look at this diagram that I showed you earlier on as a system, so basically inputs, processes, outputs, then you get feedback and you do the input again. Another key point with that is the environment. Now, what I mean in this analogy, environment is the leads. The system is your offer, your I help statement, or you do the cold calling, or using any of the outbound system. So what I'm saying here is how to speak to less people and book more calls. What is happening right now is you're following the I help statement, which definitely works because we do weekly market researches and then make sure that it definitely works. Then we actually give it to you. But what could be happening is, let's say the KPI that we have of 100 spoken to and 2 to 4 calls, the way we can turn that into half, or in very good cases even reduce that by 1/5. So you speak to 20 people and book 2 to 4 book calls. The way that can happen is if you improve the environment, the people that you actually call. Now, how? The person that I provide you guys a ways, he basically has experience of running how many I don't know about the campaigns, but he's produced like more than 15,000 leads. So he knows exactly what he's doing when it comes to lead generation. So what you can ask him to do in the following week, I don't suggest this because you'll basically be running ads, but get him to run lead form ads for you. A lead form ad would be basically you on Facebook. Always will be running an ad for you for your offer, where basically would say the offer statement that does all the heavy lifting, and the people that are interested, they will leave their name, email, and phone number. So what you'll then do is use that as your leads list. So these people in the whole of the internet, they've raised their hand. Okay, I'm actually interested in this. And then what you'll do is use the same system, same I help statement. Everything is the same. But what that will do is you're only contacting the people that are interested. But this, of course, takes money. So the lead cost could be anywhere, and I can't predict this, but it could be, depending on your niche, it could be anywhere from $7 20, bearing in mind that the ad is actually working properly. But you could do that. That's something you can definitely do, and it will drastically increase the likelihood of you booking those calls and then those calls actually showing up for those consultations. So just want to give you as many possible ways to make the program easier. Ideally, what the program says and what you need to do is do the 200 outbounds because it's free and you can get your first 1.5K client, and then we'll run ads. We'll put that 1.5K back into the business and start running ads. I made my first 5K from the same outbound systems that you have, and then I put money into ads, and I've never looked back ever since. But just for the people that maybe want to get things done quicker and you have that extra bit of cash, here's what you can. But remember, guys, all roads lead to 30 booked 15-minute consultations. Income is a byproduct of action, not how long you've been in the program. So if you want results, just do the 200 outbounds. Get your next target is just your next 1 to 1.5K USD client. So then we can automate this. And this is something that I was telling Inas on our one-on-one before, that this digital space, this digital world is not linear. Us as humans, we think in a linear way. Okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, we're going to do this. The way this digital world kind of operates is it's exponential, as in you can literally go from making 1K, 2K a month to 10, 20, 30K a month. Because you're going from outbounds of only reaching out to 200 people a week to instantly through Facebook ads showing a couple of 100,000 people what you do, right? So you increase the demand, and then basically you'll have all those people that you can actually turn into clients and then make a lot of money. It really is as simple as that, but you need to graduate to that. You need to get the confidence, you need to get the cash to then put money back into ads. But if you have the money, go ahead and tell Awais. You already have his number, you already have his contact. Tell him to run lead form ads for your offer, and then you'll have those people to call, and it will drastically increase the likelihood of you getting book calls for yourself. And that is pretty much it. You guys want any sort of one-on-one help, do let me know. There's Samira, who's kindly volunteered and giving you guys one-on-one. So don't just do it for the sake of doing it, but if you really want help, she's always there. You can ask her the questions. She'll give you a strategy. If you want a one-on-one with me, I'm here as well, and of course on WhatsApp. And I would love to get some feedback from you guys, just on WhatsApp. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did you find this call? 10 is this was perfect. This was exactly what I needed for this week. 1 is this was terrible. Didn't help me at all. It will just help me improve this presentation week by week. But for now, that is pretty much it. I will speak to you guys next week. Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
وعليكم السلام.